Live from New Delhi, you're watching DD India Live, India's voice to the world. I'm Abhishek Mahajan, coming up in the next 30 minutes. India's Chief of Defence Staff, General Anil Chauhan, shares roadmap for integrated defence operations, says Operation Sindoor showcase tri-service synergy. Prime Minister Modi's developmental push to the southern state of Karnataka flags off Vande Bharat express trains, also to inaugurate other connectivity projects. Ahead of Trump-Putin meet in Alaska on Friday, Vance and Lammy host Ukraine talks, while EU leaders stress need to protect Ukrainian security interests. And wildfires rage across southern Europe amid record temperatures, with thousands under evacuation orders. Chief of Defence Staff General Anil Chauhan has described the success of Operation Sindoor as a testament to the synergy and operational cohesion among the three services. Addressing the participants of the 21st Higher Defence Management course and senior officers at the College of Defence Management, Secunderabad, the Chief of Defence Staff shared strategic perspectives on jointness and integration in the armed forces and highlighted key takeaways for shaping the future roadmap of integrated operations. And Army Chief General Upendra Dwivedi has also spoken publicly for the first time about the planning and execution of Operation Sindoor. During the inauguration of Indian Army Research Cell at IIT Madras earlier this week, the Army Chief described the operation strategy as similar to playing chess. He said Operation Sindoor operated in a grey zone, unpredictable and just short of a full conventional military engagement.
What we did, we played chess. Now, what does it mean? It means we did not know what is the next move the enemy is going to take and what are we going to do. This is something we called about the grey zone. Grey zone is that we are not going for the conventional operations, but we are doing something which is just short of the conventional operations. Conventional operations means go with everything, Clausewitzian approach. Take whatever you have. And if you are able to come back, it's okay, otherwise stay there. But that is the thing which we talk about the conventional approach. Here the grey zone is any activity which is taking place in all domains. That is something which we are talking about, and Ops Sindoor taught us that this is the grey zone. So we were making the chess moves. He was also making the chess moves. Somewhere we were giving him checkmate and somewhere we were kind of going in for the kill at the risk of even losing our own. But that's the way life is all about.
General Dwivedi said planning began on 23rd April when the three service chiefs and the Defence Minister Rajnath Singh agreed that decisive action was needed.
2nd April, you are aware what happened in Pahalgam, and it actually shocked the nation. 23rd is the time when next day itself, we all sat down. And this is the first time which RM has also said, I think enough is enough. And all the three chiefs were very clear, something has to be done. And the free hand was given, of course, that you decide what is to be done. And that is the kind of a confidence with the political directions and political clarity for the first time we saw. And that's what made a difference, because we want to do a lot, but that kind of hand-holding and kind of free, no terms of restrictions, if I can say that. And that is what kind of raises up your morale. And that is how it helped our army commanders or commander-in-chiefs on ground to kind of act as per their wisdom.
Air Chief Marshal Amarpreet Singh on Saturday said that India shot down 5 Pakistani fighter jets during Operation Sindoor. Apart from the 5 jets, 1 large airborne early warning and control or early warning aircraft was also destroyed. IAF chief also called S-400 a game changer.
In a decisive military and intelligence-led campaign, India launched Operation Sindoor on May 7th in response to a heinous terrorist attack on April 22nd that shook the nation. India's response under Operation Sindoor was precise. The operation targeted 9 verified terror camps along the line of control and deeper inside Pakistani territory. Air Chief Marshal AP Singh said, that India shot down 5 Pakistani fighter jets and 1 other military aircraft. He said, "We have 5 confirmed kills and 1 large aircraft, which could be either an Elint or an AEW&C aircraft, which was taken on at a distance of 300 kilometers. This is actually the largest ever recorded surface-to-air kill that we can talk about."
We have at least 5 fighters confirmed kills and 1 large aircraft, which could be either an Elint aircraft or an AEW&C aircraft, which was taken on at a distance of about 300 kilometers. This is the actually largest ever recorded surface-to-air kill that we can talk about.
Calling S-400 a game changer, Indian Air Chief Marshal also said that Pakistan was unable to penetrate the surface-to-air missile system. He said, "Our air defense systems did a wonderful job. The S-400 system, which we had recently bought, has been a game changer. The range of that system has really kept their aircraft away from their weapons like long-range glide bombs that they have. They've not been able to use any of those because they've not been able to penetrate the system." India's Defence Minister Rajnath Singh, during a debate in Parliament on July 28th, termed it a tactical strike against state-sponsored terrorism.
हमारी सेनाओं द्वारा की गई वेल कोऑर्डिनेटेड स्ट्राइक्स ने 9 टेररिस्ट इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर टारगेट्स को प्रिसीजन के साथ, सटीकता के साथ हिट किया और इस सैन्य कार्रवाई में एक अनुमान के अनुसार 100 से अधिक आतंकवादी, मैं बहुत संभल कर बोल रहा हूं अध्यक्ष महोदय, हमारी फिगर गलत ना होने पाए, फिगर इससे बहुत अधिक है, 100 से अधिक आतंकवादी, उनके ट्रेनर, उनके प्रशिक्षक, उनके हैंडलर, लश्कर-ए तोयबा और हिजबुल मुजाहिदीन जैसे आतंकवादी संगठनों से संबंधित थे। ये वही आतंकी संगठन हैं जिन्होंने पाकिस्तान की सेना और ISI का जिन्हें खुला समर्थन प्राप्त है।
Operation Sindoor wasn't just retaliation. It marked a new policy direction. By striking both terrorists and their enablers, India challenged the long-standing narrative of separating state from terror actors.
I want to say, which one of you imagined that Bhavalpur and Muridke would be brought down the way it was? Which one of you thought? When did you even think of it during your tenure? Did it even cross your mind? In fact, on the contrary, you ruled it out after 26/11. So, I think our objectives are very clear. We wanted to send a message to the terrorists. We wanted to send a message to Pakistan that do not continue this support for terrorism. And I think on the morning of 7th of May, that message went home loud and clear.
Through this operation, Prime Minister Modi sent out a clear message. Terror and talks cannot go together. On May 10th at 1700 hours IST, Pakistan's DGMO contacted his Indian counterpart in an emergency call and agreed to a full ceasefire across land, air and sea. India's armed forces continue to operate in a state of high alert, signaling an unwavering commitment to national integrity and counter-terrorism. Bureau Report, DD India.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi is visiting the southern state of Karnataka, a visit aimed at transformative infrastructure projects enhancing urban and regional connectivity. Prime Minister Modi flagged off 3 Vande Bharat express trains, Bengaluru, Belagavi, Amritsar, Shri Mata Vaishno Devi, Katra and Nagpur, Pune, boosting intercity travel with faster and modern services. The Prime Minister also interacted with school children aboard the Vande Bharat Express in Bengaluru. The children expressed their excitement and gratitude for the opportunity to meet and interact with him. Further, PM Modi will also inaugurate the 19-kilometer yellow line of Bengaluru's Metro Phase 2 from RV Road to Bomasandra, costing ₹7,160 crore, expanding the city's metro network to over 96 kilometers. An encounter broke out in North Indian Union Territory, Jammu and Kashmir's Kishtwar, early hours on Sunday. The alert Indian Army troops established contact with terrorists in general area of Dul in Kishtwar in early Sunday morning. The troops were carrying out an intelligence-based operation when they established contact with the terrorist. During the operation, both sides exchanged gunfire. More details are awaited as the operation is still in progress. And the encounter in Jammu and Kashmir's Kulgam district entered its 10th day today. 2 Indian Army of soldiers martyred in a marathon combat with terrorists. Over the past 10 days, few soldiers have sustained injuries during the gun battle, one of the longest ever. The forces are also using drones and attack helicopters to weed out the terrorists who appear to be well trained in jungle warfare. India's ambassador to the United States, Vinay Mohan Kwatra, spoke to US Senator Lindsey Graham to share New Delhi's perspective on energy security. Sharing a social media post on X, Kwatra shared the Indian perspective on energy security with Senator Graham, who previously said that helping US President Donald Trump end the conflict in Ukraine would be the most consequential thing that India could do. And on the momentous occasion of Singapore's 60th National Day, Indian Navy's first indigenous survey vessel, large INS Sandhyak, arrived at the vibrant port of Singapore, reinforcing maritime cooperation and shared hydrographic interests between the Indian Navy and Singapore's maritime agencies. The 3-day port call also demonstrates India's growing leadership in maritime diplomacy and regional hydrographic capacity building under the Indian Navy's Hydrographic Department framework. INS Sandhyak was commissioned in February 2024 in presence of Defence Minister Rajnath Singh. The ship has full-scale coastal and deep-water surveying capacity and is capable of humanitarian operations with onboard helicopter and hospital functions. The Election Commission said it has delisted 334 registered unrecognized political parties which have failed to fulfill the essential condition of contesting even a single election for 6 years since 2019. The offices of these parties could also not be physically located anywhere. These 334 registered unrecognized political parties are from different states and union territories across the country. National political parties, state political parties and registered unrecognized political parties in the country are registered with the poll body under the provisions of Representation of the People Act. Monsoon rains continue to lash parts of North India. The India Met Department has issued alerts for Jammu and Kashmir, Uttarakhand, Delhi NCR, Haryana, Punjab, Rajasthan, Uttar Pradesh and Bihar. The maximum temperature dropped to 26.4 degrees Celsius, marking the coldest August day in 14 years. The IMD forecast indicates heavy to very heavy rainfall will continue over sub-Himalayan West Bengal, Sikkim, Assam, Meghalaya and Arunachal Pradesh during the next 7 days. Updates now on natural calamity in Uttarakhand's Dharali. The Chief Minister of the Northern Himalayan state, Pushkar Singh Dhami, met State Governor Lieutenant General retired Gurmeet Singh at Raj Bhavan in Dehradun on Saturday. CM Dhami informed the Governor about the current situation in the disaster-hit Dharali and Harshil villages. They also discussed the ongoing relief operations and the rehabilitation of the affected people. The Uttarakhand CM also made an announcement for the rehabilitation and relief of people affected by the recent disasters in Uttarkashi. According to a release by the Chief Minister's office, immediate assistance of ₹500,000 each will be provided for the rehabilitation of those whose houses have been completely damaged or destroyed by the disaster in village Dharali. Apart from this, the families of those who died in the disaster will also be given an assistance amount of ₹500,000 each so that they can get financial support in this difficult time. Formation of a 3-member committee has also announced for rehabilitation, overall revival and strengthening of the sustainable livelihood of the villagers affected by the disaster. A large amount of food and relief material is being sent to Harshil helipad for the affected people. More than 260 sorties have been made so far by helicopters deployed in the heli operation. Over 1,120 people have been rescued from Dharali and Harshil so far. Now, flood prevention and disaster relief operations are in full swing across China, with legions of emergency responders deployed to ensure the safety of millions of people during the ongoing summer flood season. Rescue efforts are underway after continuous heavy rainfall triggered mountain torrents in northwest China's Gansu province, leaving 15 dead and dozens missing so far. Meanwhile, the seasonal peak of China's flood season continues to threaten the other regions. Firefighters battling a forest fire in southeastern Greece face a rapidly spreading blaze that is threatening homes in the towns of Keratia and Palaya-Fokaya, about 50 kilometers southeast of Athens. Greece and other Mediterranean countries are in an area dubbed a wildfire hotspot by scientists, with blazes common during hot and dry summers. These have become more destructive in recent years due to fast-changing climate, prompting calls for a new approach. A wildfire in the southern French prefecture of Aude is not expected to be under control until late Sunday, the regional chief firefighter announced. The fire, which began Tuesday, is one of the largest recorded in France since 1949. French authorities have attributed the fire to the impact of climate change. An orange heat wave warning, the second highest warning level that encourages people to remain vigilant, is in effect for the department until midnight on Sunday. Wildfires also raging in Spain. More than 100 members of Spain's military emergency unit joined firefighters to put out wildfires. Dozens of residents were evacuated as the fire tore through 650 hectares of land. Europe is facing a new August heat wave, and concerns continue to grow over the impact of global warming, leading to extremely dire conditions in forest and bush areas. All right, we are slipping into a very short break. On the other side, more stories. Keep watching DD India Live.
Extreme heat, unseasonal rains, floods, droughts. These aren't just isolated weather events anymore. So today, through all our stories, we ask, how do we adapt? And whatever we do, will it be enough as the weather becomes more extreme?
We managed to get the IMD, and what we can create a WhatsApp group. We can have these market leaders in this WhatsApp group, and we can send these, IMD can send these alerts, these weather alerts every day in this WhatsApp group.
We have concentrated mostly on disaster management framing to tackle the problems associated with heat.
It's necessary in this humid heat, and we know that the summers are getting more and more relentless. It's an interesting initiative.
Welcome back. You're watching DD India Live. I'm Abhishek Mahajan. Some more stories. European leaders on Saturday said the path to peace in Ukraine cannot be decided without Kiev. A joint statement issued by the leaders of Britain, France, Germany, Italy, Poland, Finland and European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen said they are convinced that only an approach that combines active diplomacy, support to Ukraine and pressure on the Russian Federation to end their illegal war can succeed. The statement was made a day after US President Donald Trump said that he would meet with Russian President Vladimir Putin in Alaska on August 15 for Ukraine conflict. Now, British Foreign Minister David Lammy and US Vice President J.D. Vance met Ukrainian and European allies in Britain on Saturday to discuss Ukraine peace talks. Lammy and Vance met with head of the Office of President of Ukraine, Andrei Yermak, and Secretary of the National Security and Defense Council of Ukraine, Rustem Umerov. British Prime Minister Keir Starmer also spoke to Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky ahead of the security meeting to discuss Trump's proposals for peace ahead of talks with his Russian counterpart in Alaska next week. President Volodymyr Zelensky said on Saturday that the meeting of security advisors from Ukraine and its partner countries in Britain was constructive, adding that Kiev's arguments were heard and taken into account. He reiterated that the path to peace for Ukraine should be determined together and only together with Ukraine.
Були перемовини безпекових представників Сполучених Штатів Америки та Європи. Україна, Сполучені Штати, віце-президент Венс, Британія, Франція, Німеччина, Італія, Фінляндія, Польща. Зустріч була конструктивною. Наші сигнали всі передали. Наші аргументи чують. Небезпеки враховують. Шлях до миру для України має визначатися разом і тільки разом з Україною.
Now, Iran on Saturday vowed to block the Trump route for international peace and prosperity, or TRIP, a US-brokered corridor through Armenia linking Azerbaijan to its Nakhchivan exclave and Turkey aimed at boosting regional trade. The deal signed by Azerbaijani President Ilham Aliyev and Armenian Prime Minister Nikol Pashinyan at the White House seeks to end decades of conflict. Iran's advisor Ali Akbar Velayati called it a graveyard for Trump's mercenaries, citing security concerns. Although Russia was excluded from the talks, it called for regional solutions, while Turkey welcomed the accord. Unresolved details, including Armenia's constitutional amendments, may hinder lasting peace. Now, supporters of former Chad Prime Minister Success Masra protested in N'Djamena on Saturday after he was sentenced to 20 years in prison for hate speech, xenophobia and inciting a massacre. Masra, a key opposition figure and critic of President Muhammad Idris Deby Itno, was convicted for his role in intercommunal violence that left 42 people, mostly women and children, dead in Mandakau on May 14. The court also ordered him to pay a fine of about 1.5 million euros. His lawyers denounced the ruling, calling the trial politically motivated and lacking evidence. Masra was arrested 2 days after the violence and tried alongside nearly 70 others. Protesters from his Transformers party gathered following the verdict and announced Bedumra Korje as interim party leader. Sports updates now. The Fit India Sundays on Cycle campaign continues to gain ground in this series. An event was organized in New Delhi this morning. Union Sports Minister Mansukh Mandavia attended this event as a chief guest. The special thing about the event was that several Gram Panchayats or village elected bodies also participated with an aim to take the message of fitness to every nook and corner of the country. Every Sunday, various events are organized in which fitness enthusiasts undertake physical activities like Zumba, yoga, hula hoop and rope skipping. Apart from cycling, three-time Olympian shooter Sanjeev Rajput also became a part of this event, calling it a great initiative.
मोदी जी की फिट इंडिया मूवमेंट आज देश में संडे ऑन साइकिल के रूप में एक बड़ी मूवमेंट बन चुकी है। आज सारे देश में 50,000 से अधिक गांव में पंचायत प्रतिनिधियों ने संडे ऑन साइकिलिंग करके देश को फिट इंडिया का संदेश दिया है और मोदी जी की फिट इंडिया मूवमेंट के साथ अपने गांव को जोड़ा है।
I'm very happy that I have come here and joined this Sunday on Cycle because it's a part of the fitness routine, and I hope I will be there for the next time also. And I feel like this is the most energetic part one should do on Sunday.
Archery now. Rishabh Yadav clinched India's first individual medal at 2025 World Games, securing bronze in men's compound archery event in China. The 22-year-old outclassed senior teammate Abhishek Verma with a score of 149 to 147 in a high-quality bronze medal match in Chengdu City. Yadav maintained a slender lead from the beginning, showing remarkable composure to finish with 9 consecutive perfect tens. His semi-final run was halted by American Curtis Lee Broadnax. An Indian javelin star Neeraj Chopra has withdrawn from the Silesia Diamond League scheduled on August 16 in Poland. The reason for the Indian ace's absence is still unknown, while Pakistan's Arshad Nadeem is also absent from the official entry list. The Silesia meet was expected to be the first Neeraj Chopra versus Arshad Nadeem face-off since their charge encounter at the Paris Olympics, where Nadeem took the gold and Neeraj settled for a silver. The high-profile clash was in doubt after Nadeem had to undergo surgery on his right calf in London last month. Well, that's all we have in this edition of DD India Live. But do let us know your thoughts on the news of the day. For those on the go, you can get all the latest news and updates from India and across the world on DD India mobile app. The app is available on both Android and iOS platforms. Scan the QR code on the screen to download now. And we'll be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. I'm Abhishek Mahajan. From all of us here in Delhi, thanks for watching DD India Live.